I've seen a lot of people with sleep deprivation. It affects their job, their home life. At Room to Room, we want to take the guesswork out of buying a mattress, and that's why we brought in this technology. It shows you what you need. We want to do the assessment and find exactly what's perfect for you.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 10.
Good evening and welcome to Mississippi Live Weather at 10. I hope you guys have enjoyed your Friday nights, your week one of high school football, and I hope your team got the W. And I know for one team out in Pontotoc, they did this evening. That's one of the things we're going to get to here in just a moment. We have our Band of the Week, our Spirit Squad of the Week, and those will be revealed here in the 10 o'clock broadcast. Did you submit your vote? Well, I hope you did, because that could have made all the difference in who won that battle. Game of the Week highlights coming from our Chief Meteorologist, Matt Lavhan, out in Pontotoc. He'll be joining us here in just a moment. And of course, your SEC football forecast. Fast forwarding 24 hours from now when we are finally in week one of college football. Lots to look forward to this weekend. This was just the cherry on top, because there's a lot more, as we can see, this weekend holding. Let's jump into the first 12 and what to expect overnight. You see 11 p.m. dry conditions, 68 degrees. That continues to diminish overnight. Those temperatures into the low to mid 60s by our almost said morning commute. I hope we're not commuting at 5 a.m. But even if you sleep in just a bit, 8 a.m. 67 and 11 a.m. 83 degrees. It's going to be an immaculate forecast. But where it was an immaculate forecast was tonight in Pontotoc. So our Chief Meteorologist, Matt Lavhan, joins us, walking us through those highlights and just what it was like in the new stadium.
Absolutely. We're here in Pontotoc, and it was a beautiful night for football, which is something we almost never say for the first game of the year. Our Mississippi Live Game of the Week here, Pontotoc and Amory, and it certainly was a lot of fun and a lot of action early. The first quarter taking forever, but that's because it was completely packed with all kinds of fun. So let's get to those highlights here, and then we'll talk a little bit more about some other things. Of course, here in the Pontotoc area, we had as a lot of folks that came out and about. So we'll go ahead and pop those up, Gabe, if we could.
Big round of applause.
The football highlights on Tommy Morton Field here, and Tommy Morton himself, a legendary coach of Pontotoc. Field named after him, of course. The cheerleaders and all the fans making the trip up from Amory as well, having a lot to cheer for initially here. Pontotoc with the ball, a fumble right there by Jones. Amory recovers, number 2, T.J. Bailey, and the visiting team from Amory is pumped up. 11 minutes in the first quarter there. Yeah, the sideline. Everybody is ready to go. Ensuing possession. Number 0 there, Trey Stein throwing it with the acrobatic catch to Braden Gates. First down. The Panthers are marching down the field, student section from there in Amory. Excited as well. Once again, another pass from Crump this time to Javen Ezel. Touchdown, long pass. And they are excited. This giving, of course, the visitors there. Mama's excited as well. The visitors from Amory, 7-0. Still the first quarter here. And again, it was a very long, I think 50-minute real-time first quarter. And that there is Cortland Thomas with the run. Quarterback there, calling his own number, down inside the 40. And, of course, the folks here in Pontotoc excited. Got those towels out. Next play, run here. And Robertson, a couple plays later, with a big run down the sideline, getting into the red zone there. We pick things back up after a couple of plays, couple penalties there, and once again, with the run there for a touchdown, giving the Warriors 6 points as they are celebrating and excited after a penalty. Pontotoc decides to go for 2 and comes up just short. So our score now, Pontotoc 6, Amory 7 with 5:54 left in the first quarter. From there, We pick things up again. Amory struggling, so turn it back over on downs to Pontotoc, and who else but number 3 pass, getting the first down, calling his own number inside the 10-yard line. 4 minutes left here in the first quarter. The pass, handing the ball off there to Robertson for the touchdown. That extra point on this one was good, and that made it to where, of course, that it would be a 13-7 game. 7, all that Amory could muster in this one. Final score 34-7 here in Pontotoc at the reopening, of course, of Warrior Stadium, of course, the Tommy Morton Field. So bring things back here to the Pontotoc area, Gabe. Everyone's excited. The fans just clearing out in the last few minutes here. Took a lot of selfies. We'll show those coming up a little bit later this evening. But, of course, our game of the week here, Pontotoc getting the win over Amory with the score 34-7. And, Gabe, I know you're going to be showing our band and cheerleaders of the week coming up here in a few minutes. We got those, and we're excited to show those for you. We did get a kind of an extended play from the band, something we're not usually able to do. I think hopefully we'll be able to do here. Want to stick around for that, for their halftime show on Mississippi Live Weather at 10. But from Pontotoc, I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lopon for Mississippi Live.
Well, Matt, thank you so much, and I hope that you had a great time out there. It seems like our monitor turned off, so give it a second to turn back on. But it was just so exciting being out there with the fans, getting to see you guys. And again, all of this was possible because of your votes at the start of this week, submitting those, making it possible. Again, it was a heated, what's the word I'm looking for? Whenever we were selecting the between the three, it was definitely a heated exchange, trying to get back and trying to choose where we were going to go. We're going to be doing that same thing start of next week. So make sure to submit those votes once again. Let us know where you want us to go. We're going to put all those in a poll once again that you guys can vote in, and you guys decide where we end up this time next week and who we'll be cheering for on our Mississippi Live Weather Friday Night Football. But what we're also seeing, this is out there in Batesville. This is post game, and you can see cars already heading out. That was South Panola playing tonight. So if you, all the more reason to have the North Mississippi Storm Chasers. It is on our 24/7 stream, also on our app. You're actually able to watch this entire game there in South Panola. So if you wanted to watch some free football, well, there you go. And you didn't have to leave your couch. You could have just had your phone in hand and watched it there. So a big shout out to North Mississippi Storm Chasers making that possible. 66 degrees, so it is going to be a cool commute home. I should have asked Matt about that. I'm curious if the shorts worked out for him, if he regrets that and wishes he wore some, at least a long sleeve. Amory, 66 degrees as well. Some of that moisture in the forecast, that dew point just slightly higher, but not impacting our temperatures. Our below average forecast continues to reign supreme. Edinburgh, 70 degrees right now. Feels like 61 though, so that's the fortunate thing is it's going to be a calm, cool, and comfortable forecast heading into our Labor Day weekend. Yeah, if we want to add another thing to the list, it's Labor Day, guys. A Labor Day weekend at least. Mississippi Live Weather Radar circulating this back over the last, I'm going to do 6 hours because it doesn't matter. There was no moisture in the forecast, and we have stayed dry all day long. And right now, radar in clear air mode, and that's a great way to describe the forecast. Clear air, nothing in the sky to be concerned with. We are tracking a little bit of that cloud cover, but this is going to be some high-end cirrus clouds on the upper end. So that's really what we're dealing with right now. But overall, it's going to be that calm pattern once again. And if we do get any clouds tomorrow, no rainfall associated with it. So those partly cloudy skies, don't be alarmed by that if you see those tomorrow. Expanding things out, where is the rain? Well, you probably have heard us talk about it enough, you could tell yourself, but it is going to be down here along this frontal boundary, still seeing some of those isolated showers right around that boundary. Reason why we get it around that front is because that acts as a lifting mechanism to produce some of these isolated showers. Whenever that front is pushed further away from our area, well, then we're going to be left with a much drier forecast, and as a result, since it's going to be drier and clearer, we're getting more of that sunshine, and that sunshine is the reason why we're going to be experiencing warmer temperatures for both our Saturday and our Sunday. Let's walk through that futurecast, and basically what you'll see is that frontal boundary carries south and east. So if you're heading to Mississippi State game down in Hattiesburg, or if you're heading to the Alabama game in Tallahassee, a little appetizer to the main forecast. it's going to have some isolated showers. So I hope you pack that rain gear as you head out and about if you're heading to those games tonight, or if you've already left, it's not too late to grab an umbrella tomorrow morning. 6 a.m. on your Saturday, dry conditions and plenty of clear skies in the forecast for us here in North Mississippi. So honestly, our team should have stayed local because North Mississippi is going to be the place to be to play some Saturday football or some of our college football. Hope you guys get out and about to enjoy that. Noontime, still seeing those dry conditions persist. A lot of that due to that northern wind pushing into the area, surging in some of that drier air and forcing a lot of that moisture south there into the Gulf. So no rain chances here in North Mississippi. We're going to be a dry start to our Labor Day weekend and our Week 1 college football. 63 degrees to start, but climbing into the upper 80s there towards 3 o'clock. Do not be surprised to see a few lower 90s in that forecast as well. Right around our seasonable average, but if you want a hot forecast, this might be one of a few days left of those hot conditions because into next week, temperatures really take a dip back and we are going to see those cooler conditions prevail once again. So a lot to talk about and we're just getting started. We also have our band of the week, our spirit squad of the week, our SEC forecast, and our Labor Day outlook. Plenty of reason to stay here with Mississippi Live Weather at 10. We thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll be back here in just a minute.
At Absolute Restoration, our team will feel magical since our focus is on serving you and your roofing needs.
Finding a roofer who actually shows up and communicates, that's just one of the problems we solve by informing you of every step in the process.
Selling premium roofing systems backed by warranties and payment plans starting at just $99 per month. Trust Absolute Restoration to deliver.
Experience unicorn-level service and affordability from a team your community trusts. Call Absolute Restoration today.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynard.
Well, that was our Spirit Squad of the week here for Week 1 of Mississippi Live Weather Friday Night Football. The Pontotoc Warriors winning the battle between Pontotoc and Amory. And a big thank you to everyone who submitted their vote. And if you were an Amory Panther and you were disappointed at the outcome, and you didn't submit your vote, well then there's no excuse. But next week or the week after, depending on when we go back to your school, then's the time to vote. So go ahead and submit your votes for where you want us to go next week. I'm going to push this one more time. Monday, we'll be asking for those submissions, and then I believe Tuesday is when we'll submit the poll for you guys to vote on where we go. And then from there, Spirit Squad of the Week and Band of the Week, we'll be having that battle as well. So lots of head-to-head duels when it comes to our Friday Night Football forecast here at Mississippi Live Weather, and just a big thank you once again to you guys for being a part of this. It's so fun seeing it all happen in real time. Speaking of thank yous, thank you to our weather watchers as well. There are some phenomenal photos that you guys submitted tonight, and I cannot wait to get into it. We're going to start with the blue skies we had in Prentice County. Allison submitting this picture, and she was asking what exactly this was in the sky. Well, whenever you get these lines, what this is this usually on the back end of airplanes called contrails that develop as just like one of those clouds behind the plane as some of that moisture is exerted. So that's where we get some of those contrails. Do these produce rain? No, but it's just one of those cool features in the sky. Nothing else to it, just other than a cool feature. And other than those contrails, we also had another cool feature. This is what we call cloud iridescence. This is around that sunshine. Whenever you have that moisture in the air, those ice crystals kind of interacting and refracting some of that light. And so that's where we get this almost a rainbow right there. But this is actually called cloud iridescence. Quentin in Lee County submitting this picture. And I know that you didn't get it on both sides, but I was driving in Tupelo earlier and I actually saw it on both sides of the sun, because what it acts as is an entire circle, both at the same degree point on each side of the sun. So it's a really cool feature, and it's symmetrical too. So you just have to appreciate it, because it keeps, it definitely is an appealing look as well. So whenever we look out and about this evening, we had a fantastic picture submitted to us over there at There it goes. Over there in Belmont, this was Amanda submitting this photo. Friday night football is back. Ladies and gentlemen, are you excited? Because I am excited. Just watching those highlights from Matt, I was just getting chill bumps thinking about it, of just getting to experience that once again. Friday night lights, full force here in North Mississippi. Amanda, the sunset was basically an imposter in this scenario. No one was paying attention to the sunset because everyone was paying attention to the football field. But definitely a great photo bomb, a beautiful photo bomb at that, seeing that sunset in the background. And Kenny getting us ready for Labor Day weekend. Are you heading out to the water this weekend? Well, there is an optimal time to go, and that's going to happen the next couple of days. We'll walk through that Labor Day forecast here shortly. But Kenny getting his started. This was at Saucer Creek and a beautiful sunset. I love when that sun sets on the horizon, especially on this body of water. You can see that light going right over the surface of the water. So beautiful skies, basically a mirror reflection on the water. So I hope you enjoyed your time out there, Kenny. And a big thank you to our weather watchers once again, walking through these photos with so many different things of weather watcher submissions. Again, brings a smile to your face. So much to be happy about at 10 o'clock on a Friday. 66 degrees Oxford, dew point at 61, so slightly cooler. Expecting those cooler conditions to push in overnight. Still going to be a comfortable start to our Saturday. Smithville, 70 degrees, so that moisture definitely playing an impact there. Ooh, that's a great shot right there. Look at that moon off there in the distance shining through the clouds. Almost ominous. I brought up a picture yesterday saying it looked like Halloween. Kind of gives you Halloween vibes again, those spooky vibes once again. Definitely excited about moving into the fall season, if you can't tell. But that summer surge definitely trying to make its impact this weekend. Winona, 68 degrees, humidity still relatively high. It's going to come with some of those stratus clouds, or should I say cumulus clouds that are horizontally developed. And so that's going to be the only thing we get up in the sky. No rainfall expected. Mississippi Live Weather Radar currently showcasing its clear air mode, which, like I mentioned, means there's nothing in the sky that is of note. A lot of our moisture actually down there towards the south along that stationary front. And Hattiesburg, you're getting those rain showers. Don't worry, and we expect those to continue into that extended forecast as well. Looking at some of those rainfall totals over the past 24 hours, you can see who the lucky ones are, and that's us here in North Mississippi, staying just on the outskirts of that moisture. Those heaviest sections back around Alexandria, Shreveport, and even on the north side of Mobile. That's going to be a pretty decent downpour as well. So I hope you had your rain gear ready if you were going down to the beach for Labor Day. But if you're staying here in North Mississippi, well, I don't want to say you made the right decision, but you made the right decision. Futurecast overnight has those dry conditions once again, but watch how these clouds are basically pulled away and pulled south and east. That's a result of that frontal system clearing south and east as well and carrying that moisture away with it. So 7:30 on our Saturday, a lot of us waking up and heading out the door to a beautiful forecast filled with plenty of sunshine. I know that I always challenge weather watchers. Here's your challenge for this weekend. I want Caleb to come into work tomorrow evening and be overwhelmed at the amount of pictures you submit. Send it of the sunrise, send it of the blue sky, send it of the Ole Miss game. Just whatever you're doing tomorrow for Labor Day, submit those pictures, and I want him to have 10 pictures in tomorrow evening's shows because there's going to be so many. But low temperatures tomorrow morning, we're not talking upper 50s, and that's because some of that moisture is lingering overnight. But low to mid 60s, I'm not going to rule those out, and that's still well below average for this time of year. So we can't complain here in North Mississippi. In that extended forecast, mid-morning, you can see some of that cloud cover trying to resurge into the area, but watch how the day goes on and into those lunch hour. So a lot of that cloud cover recedes once again, and we'll be getting that peak of sunshine there towards early to mid-afternoon. One thing I do want to say about the sky cover that we have for tomorrow on this Futurecast model is that it's forecasting more cloud cover than what I expect. I have this really being pulled back in that northeast wind dominating our forecast and circulating in that drier air. So yes, it's showing a good bit of cloud cover. I really forecast a good amount of sunny skies for our Saturday. And you will see those pushing in by 6 p.m., but I have that even early afternoon. So just a great forecast all the way around. If you want to join Kenny on the water, or if you just want to get out and about and enjoy your Labor Day weekend, it's a great time to do so. Oxford, I know 6 o'clock, a big time for you over there in the Grove and over there at Vaught Hemingway. Big game for you guys. We'll get to that here in just a moment. Upper 80s, low 90s across the region, 90 Water Valley, 92 Greenwood. We're seeing 87 around Corinth and some 85s popping up Red Bay and Hamilton, but still above what we've been expecting, that warming trend still taking full effect. Heat indices show those drier conditions once again being a big part of our forecast. So while it is going to be warmer, it's not sticky, and so it's bearable in that afternoon forecast. Let's look at this SEC football forecast sponsored by Carl Hogan. Big thank you to them for allowing this opportunity, but we're going to take it time by time because we have a morning, we have an afternoon, and we have an evening. So let's get through that schedule. Mississippi State taking on Southern Miss in Hattiesburg. And where did we say the showers were happening right now? Hattiesburg. So it's more than expected that we're going to see some of those isolated showers continue into 11 a.m. and right around kickoff, but very isolated in nature. So have that rain gear ready, but fingers crossed we luck out and we're going to be on the drier side of the forecast and some of those showers clear out just a bit. But where we're also tracking showers is in a more likely region down around Florida. Tallahassee tomorrow afternoon, 2:30 kickoff against Alabama. That'll be a great game. I'm going to say it one more time because I want this prediction to come true. It's going to be a battle because I feel like the rainfall evens out the teams, and so it's going to be a running game, hard-nosed game. It's going to be a fun game for sure. I'm excited about that one. 70 to 80% coverage when it comes to those rain chances, but again, hopefully for them as well as folks in Hattiesburg, those rain chances recede just a bit, and we see a drier forecast. I don't mind the rainfall for this scenario. I kind of want to see them in action with that. But over here in Ole Miss, what did I say? North Mississippi is the place to be for your Labor Day weekend. And reason why is because do you see a chance of rain for your Ole Miss game? I don't either. Showcasing those drier conditions. So it'll be a comfortable forecast, not just in the air, but it'll also be a comfortable forecast in the sky, not getting that downpour that we had yesterday. So that's a fortunate thing with our forecast here. There are some perks to staying in North Mississippi for your holiday weekend. Let's keep that futurecast going. And like we mentioned, those drier conditions in Oxford, Lafayette County staying on the clear side as well. So should be good for a post-game celebration. Knock on wood. But that's the expectation, Rebels, so we want to come away with a victory. Midnight, still partly cloudy skies, and that cloud cover builds heading into our Sunday morning, so heading out for church, we are expecting those drier conditions to persist, but some of that sky coverage may be a little bit more intense than what we'll have for Saturday. Now, I know you're looking at that moisture and saying, Gabe, there's showers. What are those going to do? Really, with this forecast and with those winds coming out of the northeast, I don't forecast a whole lot of moisture in this forecast, so I'm keeping our forecast on the mostly dry side throughout our Sunday. Now, meteorologist Caleb Edelblue walking through that forecast tomorrow evening at 6 and 10 for the latest updates on these rain chances, but I think he'll agree with me on this forecast that it's going to take a little bit to believe that those are actually going to verify. Now, towards the afternoon, we could get a few of those pockets of moisture that produce an isolated shower or two, but just not overly high on those rain chances lasting through the day, so we should still have a decent day to get out and about for our Sunday to celebrate the holiday weekend. Temperatures right around that same average, 88 Amory and Tupelo, 90 Grenada, 90 towards Tunica, so still going to be warmer than what we have been. But these temperatures, while they are warmer, they're still actually below average just by a degree from where we typically be at this time of year, and heat indices, drier air still going to be around the forecast. So that Labor Day weekend, Saturday, 89 degrees, and that's going to be the greatest day to get on the grill. It's game day, it's Labor Day weekend, that's all the excuses we need. And then 88 degrees for Sunday, still with that drier air in the forecast, but Labor Day, you see 87 and the little bit of moisture pushing into the forecast. Unfortunately, we will be having to deal with some of those isolated showers. So enjoy this weekend because Monday, your Labor Day, looks like we're going to have some of that moisture return. Tuesday, our best chance for rainfall. And those isolated showers stick around for our midweek forecast. So what we're tracking into the start of next week, temperatures also diminishing. I mentioned that we're going to be cooling off pretty drastically. 88 transitions to 83. There's a fly. Whew. He's trying to stay indoors. This heat getting him. But 83 around Tuesday. So we're already dropping 5 degrees. But where you'll really notice the cold front is whenever we talk about the low temperature. So we're not changing too much from 83 dropping to 80 by Friday. But those low temperatures going from 65 Tuesday, 64 Wednesday to the upper 50s by Friday, that's where the effects of the cold front will be felt. And those morning low temperatures will be some of the coolest that we've seen in quite a while. So tracking that in the extended forecast, we still have a few days before that verifies, but we are definitely excited at least seeing that forecast verify and also getting some much needed rainfall in the process. So plenty of good coming from this, but it's been a fantastic day. So I'm just checking the chat here real quick. Everyone's so excited about football, about Matt being out in the field. It was such a good time. I know they enjoyed it over there. Jade saying, isn't the iridescent called a sundog? Yes, it actually is. So you are right on the money with that. Both of those basically the same thing, but definitely a cool sight to see, seeing that rainbow up there in the clouds. So what we're going to have next is our Band of the Week. A big thank you to them for just showing off. Let's take a listen. Well, that was our band of the week, and a big thank you to them for showing off what they've been practicing all summer for. As a former band member myself, I just got to respect it because it is tough, especially in that summer heat. But luckily, a good forecast from here on out, so practice this week looks like a good one, so it'll be exciting. And just a big thank you to you guys once again for voting on your band of the week and voting on your Spirit Squad of the week. Again, you guys are as big a part of this as we are, and we just cannot thank you enough for your cooperation and including yourselves in this whole thing. This is week 1 of our high school football coverage. So we're excited to see where it takes us to next week and be back with you guys once again for those Friday Night Lights. If you want to check out the app, download it today on iOS and Android on the QR codes on your screen on the bottom right and left. It'll take you to the App Store. You can watch that South Panola game. Like we mentioned, the North Mississippi Storm Chasers cameras, hey, they're good for more than just detecting storms. You can also watch a free football game. But you'll have access to that, access to your Labor Day weekend forecast, and of course, what to expect in that extended forecast for your SEC football games. Even if you're going to Hattiesburg, even if you're going to Tallahassee, it'll be accessible right in the palm of your hands, even for those areas. We're not just limited to here in North Mississippi. That app covers anywhere in the world. You just need a little bit of a connection too. But just a big thank you to you guys once again for tuning in tonight at 10. I know it's a late one, but it was worthwhile because we got some football out of it and some great bands and great Spirit Squads as well. So big thank you to you guys. Big thank you to Matt for surviving out in the field, not getting that sunburn. I was very proud seeing that. But it's just a fun night, and we hope you have a fantastic Labor Day weekend. Meteorologist Caleb Edelblut back with the forecast on 6 and 10 for your weekend forecast. Again, we're not going to have a 5 o'clock tomorrow. Weekends only 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. So he'll have the very latest on what to expect, and that limited moisture moving in possible for Sunday afternoon, but really those rain chances early next week. And for your Labor Day, he'll be tracking the latest coming up on Mississippi Live Weather on Saturday.
For more than 100 years, First Choice Bank has provided dedicated community banking to North Mississippi. The banking products and services you need when you need them. At First Choice, you're our priority. Make First Choice your choice for banking.
Even though Gabe grew up in Alabama, Mississippi has now become his home and his family. And one thing about Gabe is he keeps his family safe.